Hey guys, how's everyone doing? This is Sir Jedi Sentinel, and welcome back to Sentinel Reviews. Doctor Who time once again, and we are looking at the Series 11 finale, Episode 10, The Battle of Ranskoor of Kolos. And I am 90% sure I said that wrong. And as always, there is a spoiler warning in place because I do this unscripted, so if you haven't seen the episode yet, I recommend it. And actually, do I recommend this episode? Well, maybe. But yeah, this was a, from start to finish, really dull episode. Because now, after those last 4 good to really good episodes, we are back to the series finale, which is once again written by Chris Chibnall. And thinking about it now, I'm sorry, I've got a new microphone. I have it set up where my notes would usually be, so I've got them in my hand. And thinking about it right now, I have reached a conclusion, at least based on my personal thoughts. The showrunner should not write for the show. Plain and simple. The showrunner should only be responsible for running the show. I feel like a lot of the issues people had with Stephen Moffat, for example, and I'm going to the Moffat era specifically because that's the one I know the best. A lot of the issues people had, I don't think came up until he started, being showrunner and writing for the show. I think showrunner is too much work, and personally, I feel we should go back to how Classic Who was done, where running the show was a 2-man team. You had an executive producer, Barry Letts, Philip Hinchcliffe, John Nathan Turner, and then you had I think it was called head writer or head script editor. Douglas Adams, Eric Sayward, Andrew Cartmel. And yeah, I just think that we need to dissolve showrunner back into those 2 separate positions. Because, yeah, of the Chris Chibnall written episodes, this may be the weakest one. Maybe. I'm compiling a list right now for my next video about Series 11 as a whole, and we'll see where it goes. But, yeah, now, the Doctor. Let's go into the characters now, because I'm starting to ramble on this point. The Doctor was still good, and yeah, this going back to a Chibnall written episode, this shows what I've been thinking the past few episodes. Jodie Whittaker is a fantastic Doctor. It's just she needs better writers than Chris Chibnall, because in her first 2 episodes, The Woman Who Fell to Earth and The Ghost Monument, she was good. She was really good. And then the next 3, she stagnated. Her character stagnated. And then we got episodes 6 through 9, the episodes Chibnall didn't write. And she got really good again. I don't know if it's because she figured out how to play her Doctor, or if the writers knew how to write the Doctor better. Given what we just saw with episode 10 here, I'm leaning towards the latter. The writers had a better idea of how to write this Doctor. The companions. Yaz is once again the weak link. There's no way around it. She got really shafted in this episode. Ryan was good. Graham, ugh. There's a lot of stuff going on here, and Graham was really out of character. For one thing, the Stenza are back. Not just the Stenza, but Tzim-Sha, the specific Stenza they fought in that first episode. And Graham is on this whole revenge tangent because, he killed Grace. Which, just a slight thing, he did not kill Grace. Grace died disabling his Tzim-Sha's probe. That's really the main difference. Grace wasn't killed, Grace died. And it's just, I feel if we sort of went on this arc with Graham, this would feel more deserved. We got some good scenes out of it, like when he finally confronts Tzim-Sha, he says he ultimately decides not to kill him, and he says, "I'm the better man." And it's a good scene, but it's just, this revenge tangent comes right out of the blue, and it doesn't work for him. And then there's the side characters. I'm sorry, this episode was really dull. I'm struggling, even with my notes, to figure out what to say and talk about. We have three side characters in this story. We have Andinio and Delph, who are the Ux. They are a long-living race who, at any given time, there's only ever two in existence. And that's a good concept. Really interesting. Especially, I just feel it was kind of wasted in this episode. Like, oh, they're here, they're somewhat important to the plot, but it feels like not enough was done with them. And then we have Paltraki, played by Mark Addy, which when I first saw the previews, I was super excited for. I love Mark Addy. He's a great actor. When I was a preteen, there was this sitcom I used to watch. I can never remember the name of it. He was in it. He played a family patriarch. He was married to Jamie Gertz. It was either called Still Standing or Yes Dear. I can never remember the name. And he was great in it. And ever since watching that show, I've always liked him. And he is so wasted in this episode. Especially compared to the last few guest stars we've had. Vinette Robinson was phenomenal as Rosa Parks. Alan Cumming was delightful as King James. And then we have Mark Addy as this captain who was on this retrieval/rescue mission. And yeah, he was just wasted. Once again, we're back to that Series 9, Series 10 Capaldi era aesthetic with the color grading where everything's muted and dull. And it's just, why? I've made it clear. I loved how Series 11 was initially done. It was so bright and vibrant. And to go back to this, no. Let's see. Anything else? Let me look at my notes. Okay, I did make a note of that. This finale was one episode, which I thought going in would have been interesting to see how it was done, because for the most part, with New Who, the series finales have all been two-parters, with two exceptions that I can remember off the top of my head. The Name of the Doctor was one episode. Granted, it was part of a trilogy, but with The Day of the Doctor and The Time of the Doctor, but those three episodes could all be standalone as well. And then the Series 9 finale was 3 parts. Face the Raven, Heaven Sent, Hell Bent. So it's like, so after basically almost an entire series of multi-part finales, I thought it would be interesting to see how a one-part finale was done. And even then, this story was severely lacking in substance. I feel like there wasn't enough to make a full story here, so I feel like the pacing dragged. And that brings me to something else. This episode didn't hook me immediately. A lot of really good Doctor Who episodes, from the beginning, they hook you in. And just a lot of Series 11's episodes, not all, I can't think of any off the top of my head, but a lot of them didn't really engage me until partway through the episode, and I thought that was a misstep. The lighting in this episode, most of it takes place on this ship, shrine, whatever. The lighting was terrible. I could barely see anything. And although I will say, with Tzim-Sha, it worked really well. His face was partially obscured in shadows. It was really dynamic. I thought the lighting on him worked really well. Just the lighting on the whole was not great. Anything else? Let's see. So to start, muted color grading. I'm sorry. Like I said, this episode was just really dull. I am struggling to think of what else to say because this honestly feels like another meh episode. And for a finale, that's a problem. Like, I feel more than anything a series finale, for good or bad, should be memorable, and this one just isn't. There were some good moments, though. Like I said, I liked the Doctor. Graham, again, his thing this episode was really poorly done, but it led to some good moments, like the scene with Ryan, the scene with him and the villain. But yeah, I'm gonna give the Battle of Ranskoor of Kolos a 4 out of 10. But those are just my thoughts, rambling and incoherent as they are, and what did you think? Please start a conversation in the comments. And remember to like, comment, subscribe, and click that little bell in the corner next to subscribe to get notifications when I upload, because subscribe doesn't do that anymore. This is Sir Jedi Sentinel, and I'll see you guys next time.